Thank you. And thank you for the opportunity to speak here, especially President Denise and Professor Wilkinson sent me invitation to speak here. So thank you. So I'm a small business entrepreneur actually. That's what I am. I'm not a professor or a speaker or anybody like that. I'm just a small entrepreneur. Let's see. I come from India, you can guess that. But where I come from is this place called near Mumbai, near Bombay. And I actually came initially to Northwestern, got my degree. And I'll tell you all about myself, introduction, as well as what I think about from my experience so far, what I learned. That's all I'm going to tell you, what I learned, okay? That you can apply in the business area also. So, as you know, my title of the talk is Success Connection to Inner Engineering. And when I say that, it means inner engineering, mind engineering. So when you engineer your mind, can you be successful? And that's what it is. There's a connection there. That's what I'm going to say. No matter what area of expertise you have. So really, I feel for my life, there were lots of amazing opportunities, amazing times I went through. But that was nothing actually. For next 20 years or so, there are even much more, it's actually exploding opportunities. That's my belief. Just look at what's happening in next 10 years. Million times faster computers, significant entry of driverless cars, and going from actually lithium to hydrogen, which is even environmentally friendly. Toyota just announced California has about 18 hydrogen stations already coming in. So in next 10 years, you can believe that it's going to be even better environmentally. Pervasive artificial intelligence in robotics, that's going to happen. It started now, big time. IBM is in front of that. And synthetic biology. I'm actually coming from synthetic biology company right now who they are making spider silk composites. So, and the robot is going to be our family member in 10 years, like it or not. That's going to be our family member, one, if not two, you know. So, as Professor Whitney said that I'm a Northwestern University graduate, came here in 1967, got PhD in material sciences, and then went to work for, so now they are known as Duracell and Energizer. And so I worked there as a battery engineer. And then I thought, you know, I come from a, in a sense, lower middle class family back in India. So I thought that I should go to India to create this economic machine. Corporation is economic machine, employs people, gives taxes to states and so on. Everything grows. So I founded a company called Energy Systems Private Limited. And I worked extremely hard really there. However, it was a colossal failure because I was a scientist. I wasn't a businessman. I didn't have skills to do business in India, especially in India. The reason I highlighted Best Small Business Award because it was very funny for me that it was such a colossal failure and I got the Best Entrepreneur of the Year award from the President of India. What's wrong with it? Nothing was wrong with it because I received a check from them. I received a check from government to go to United States. So from my perspective, nothing was wrong with it. I came back to a company called Ceramatec in 1984. And I will refer to that particular highlight statement because later on. So became a scientist, after living 5 years, United States technology grew exponentially and my knowledge while I was here, 79, was not keeping up pace with in 1984. It wasn't. So I accepted whatever position they gave me in this Ceramatec Inc. in Salt Lake City. It was owned by two major corporations. One is Elkem, large Scandinavian corporation, and one is McDermott International, which is also a large energy, US energy corporation. But then I joined that and had opportunities after opportunities to become VP and Executive Vice President of Ceramatec. Not only that, but in 1997, Scandinavian decided that I should be CEO, I should be president. And so I became president and CEO. But the company wasn't doing well. And so both companies, McDermott as well as Elkem, wanted to exit Ceramatec. And so they exited. They asked me to find an owner, and I found one, which is me. And so I became the sole owner of the company. And then after growing that company, I could sell it to Coors family. They have a very large ceramic company called Coors. So I sold it to them. I always was thinking what leadership is all about, because I was really, sometimes I feel forced leadership on me, okay? I don't know what they were thinking of appointing me all this, but I was forced to become a leader. So what is important in leadership, for employees? Two things, motivation and inspiration. Motivation is very easy, believe me, very easy for CEOs, presidents, giving them 401k, good 401k, stock options, compensation for winning proposal, giving them ability to spin off the tech company, and networking opportunities, very easy. The problem is inspiration. Can a leader inspire employees? That's when the business grows. faster, because employees or the followers don't look at the leader, they look through the leader. And that is most important, is that they look through the leader. So in order to do that, in order to inspire, I was basically learned that I have to do practice of silence every day. And in that silence, I have to say to myself that I have to listen to customers, vendors, and employees. Listen to them. I have to say that I'm here, I'm going to my company to serve others. I'm not going to make judgments about anybody who doesn't listen to me or anything like that. I'm just going to make decisions. And this is the final one, is the most important, I felt, is tolerance for genuine failure. Because if they fail, if the employee fails in something and you know that he tried, you have to actually go and hug him and not blame him. Even though there is a loss you have to sustain. I was lucky, really lucky, to spin off so many companies, and still there are some companies out of these are still what you call growing and very good. Actually, Calypto, negative pressure drug therapy, I must say that I invested a lot of money. And because of venture capital and a lot of things I learned there, today that product is with Smith and Nephew, and I understood, maybe wrong, but I understood from one of the guys that it's a $1 billion a year product. But I lost a lot of money in that company, our patent. So what I learned, fundamentally what I learned is I have to have discipline, and that discipline can be obtained through the silence, everyday silence, remaining silence for at least half an hour to 1 hour. Unless I am happy, my employees are not going to be happy. It's the same principle as you go on the airplane and they say, well, if the oxygen thing falls, first put on the mask on yourself and then put on your child, because you have to be alive to do everything else. You have to be happy. So, American Enterprise Institute, Arthur Brooks, Professor Arthur Brooks, and you can go on the YouTube and listen to his lecture. He did 35 years of research on happiness. What makes somebody happy? And he said 4 things. And there is a lot more to it, but there are 4 things, really. Faith, family, community, and work. That's what he said. So in our silence, we have to think about faith, we have to think about family, community, and our work to become happy. So it's very important. I'm now using Indian words. It's a 3,000-year-old in the scriptures. The first thing they said, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. What it means is, world is my family. And this brings the diversity. Everybody is talking about diversity and in all fields. Very important for a business leader. Very important to have that. That world is all my family. We are all same. We are all equal. Very important. Every institution in India, they have that on their board, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So this is a very central point of my talk. Unless you prepare mind, you're not going anywhere in terms of leadership. You have to prepare mind. And what you put in mind matters, how you're going to be successful. So this is a central point of my talk. And I want you to listen to just 2-minute video from our Supreme Court Justice John Roberts. Listen to him.
Now, the commencement speakers will typically also wish you good luck and extend good wishes to you. I will not do that, and I'll tell you why. From time to time in the years to come, I hope you will be treated unfairly, so that you will come to know the value of justice. I hope that you will suffer betrayal, because that will teach you the importance of loyalty. Sorry to say, but I hope you will be lonely from time to time, so that you don't take friends for granted. I wish you bad luck, again, from time to time, so that you will be conscious of the role of chance in life, and understand that your success is not completely deserved, and that the failure of others is not completely deserved either. And when you lose, as you will from time to time, I hope every now and then your opponent will gloat over your failure. It is a way for you to understand the importance of sportsmanship. I hope you'll be ignored, so you know the importance of listening to others. And I hope you will have just enough pain to learn compassion. Whether I wish these things or not, they're going to happen. And whether you benefit from them or not will depend upon your ability to see the message in your misfortunes.
I was really inspired by his this convocation speech, because this is what's going to happen. This is what we experience all the time. That's the reason why we have to prepare our mind, to deal with these things. Insults, jealousy, anger, all these are coming to us. Can we sustain that with strong mind? And that happens actually if you remain silent every morning for half an hour to 1 hour. Because in that, you can say that this is going to happen, I'm going to be strong. I'm going to express empathy, kindness, and so on, rather than anger to the anger. That's not good. Making decisions. We are going to make decisions. Every business leader, everyone actually makes a lot of decisions every day. And there are a lot of decisions. Harvard Business Review, if you read it, a lot of decision trees and everything. And those are okay. But first thing required is to change your mind. Mind is very important. And when Malcolm Gladwell says, he's a great psychologist, he says that there are some very famous leaders, very important leaders, and he identified few of them. One thing in common, he said, that they make the decision at a blink of an eye than the community, than the group of people make in years. The same decision they make. So they are great leaders. It sounds like to me that they're born leaders. They are born with that ability. So I was just thinking at that time, but why not me? Why can't I be making such a decision? Why don't I have that capability? That time I realized that I have to be silent. Silent to bring my five sensory noise to a level where I can have my sixth sense prop up. And it takes a long time, almost decades of silencing myself, silencing the five sensory noise that I have. We are all the time, I'm doing right now five sensory presentation. I'm looking at you, seeking approval of you and all that stuff. This is all five sensory. Sixth sense is within me. If I approach that, that is a universal sense. If I approach that, if I have an ability to approach it, then I'll make a decision, good decisions. But at the same time, I can tell you, even like this, any decision, when you make, when you are angry or greedy or fearful, the probability of that decision being right is very low. Same thing on the other side. When you are elated, the probability of that decision is, making good decision is very low. So you have to be equanimous. And that is the reason why we say that, let me sleep over it. When somebody asks you, what does that mean? It means let me be silent. Let me be silent to think about all this. Now this you may misunderstand my thing. This is not about ego. I'm not talking about ego. Let me go back to my award from President of India. So colossal failure, and I get a top national award. Almost all people, especially my competitors in India, were really saying, oh, poor guy, he failed miserably. He shouldn't have come here. He's so total failure. I wasn't. I was successful. That was in my mind. You know why I was successful? Why they gave me the award? Because I treated my employees much better than anybody in that small business area in Indian situation. Treated well. They are the ones, the social leaders in my city went to Delhi and said, you have to do this. That is success. It is only within me. What I did, I felt good, and so I'm successful. It has nothing to do with anybody else. Ahankar is a Sanskrit word that means ego, and that was my mantra for last 25 years. That it shouldn't, everybody has ego. Ego has to be there. That is motivation. But one thing is there. Yes, I have ego. So ego is essential for our life. But it should not come in my way when we are dealing with it. The reason I say John Huntsman's story, because I can tell you a lot of stories I experienced in my life, but John Huntsman's story is also very important. I was coming from Washington, D.C. to Salt Lake City on 757 plane non-stop. And since I travel a lot, you know, they put me in the first class. I was occupied the seat and everything. When the plane took off, before the dinner came, I got up and went to bathroom. And 757 is like, there is a first class bathroom and economy. And so I came out of the bathroom and just looked at economy class. Oh my God, my governor is sitting there in economy. I went to him and I said, Governor, you can't sit there. Come on, occupy my seat. He said, AJ, you don't understand something. You see, you are a businessman. You generate wealth. I use that wealth. I am a public servant. You go sit there. Ahankar does not come in my way. You know, this is what I learned. I'm just telling you my experience. You know, when I wish I could have had somebody telling me when I was 20 years old, 22 years old, when I was in college. Because I was a cricket fan. That is, in India, I was very much cricket fan. And cricket matches used to go for 5 days, continuous. And I would sit through those 5 days doing nothing, watch them, and then after 5 days, 10 days with my friends, how he batted and what should have been there, and so much excruciating details about it. Why? What did I do those 15 days? Nothing. What did I achieve anything? Nothing. Focus only what you want to be. Now, if I had to be cricket player in the world, yes, I should do that. But if I wanted to be scientist, material scientist, that has nothing to do with it. Same thing, people are getting sucked into social media and non-essential activity. Total. World is changing. Tremendous competition for you young people. Tremendous competition all over the world. Wake up and conserve time. Focus on the opportunities. Focus on the opportunities. And the last one. I learned from Dr. Deepak Chopra, who is a nuclear engineering, or doctor, I don't know. But whenever you go someplace, you meet people, just for yourself, you give them quiet blessings. Very powerful, I think. If you give them quiet blessing, even if you don't agree with the person, give them quiet blessings. It's good for you, because that creates the environment of communication. And finally, this was the thing I lacked most. As a small entrepreneur, nobody knows how to speak. This is what I lacked most. As I said, I'm not professor or never had any experience in speaking more than 10 people. But public speaking skills is very important, and I realized really amazingly when I saw our past president Barack Obama. Amazing skill. And I think because of that, he became president, but may not be. I mean, really. So, why this is important? Because you can inspire large people, the entire employee group. You can inspire them. You can really tell them what you really think. This is very important, public speaking skills. So in summary, I'm summarizing. As I said that there are lots of abundance of opportunities. And I learned this, that the opportunities are just amazing. At my age, I was born in 42, so you can calculate my age. Even at my age, I continuously think that there's so many opportunities. I went from material science, battery scientist to right now I'm in the mosquito area. So I'm long time retired kind of. So many opportunities. All these, forget about the corona right now, but there are lots of other diseases borne by mosquitoes like Zika. So anyway, lots of opportunities for you, really. But what I learned is that through the practice of silence every day, I want to become happy. I want to think that this world has the same, everybody is same. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. I have to prepare my mind. That is fundamental for this. I'm not going to make judgments. I'm just going to make decisions. Nobody is a bad person per se. Everybody has the same soul. Their behavior is bad. As I mentioned, my success is really within me, how I look at it. The ego does not come in my way. That is very important. I'm not going to waste time on media. I'm going to give quiet blessings. And then I'm going to learn public speaking. This is when I really followed this for a while, and I really felt that I still am learning. I'm not done yet. I don't know where I am on the scale. I'm still learning, but I see successes by practicing this. I see success connection to it. That's all I want to say today. Thank you. Thank you for.
Question?
I have a question. So as a businessman, what is an area, so obviously these are some great examples right here, but what are some areas that you see in the younger generation and our generation where we're not taking all the opportunities we can, or what's an area we should avoid? Like what mistakes is this generation making that you would advise against?
So clearly, I see the mistake that you should avoid, which says in it everything, but really ego is one of the most important mistakes that people make in business. Something goes in their head.
Any other questions? I do have a question. How did you make that transition from scientist to business person? That seems like a leap.
Yeah, so surely I was a scientist, and there was an inside desire in me to become a business person. And in that in that transformation, I failed miserably. In India. But I learned a lot because through experience you learn a lot. As long as you prepare your mind to learn a lot, you gave a tremendous efforts to learn what is important, what is not important, and so on. And as I say, people really don't look at you, they look through you. When they are looking at you, they are really looking through you. And that's it's very important that your ego, actually as a businessman, you really have to give opportunities to really give people to have their ego elevated than yours. Because they are the ones who are going to work for you, make you successful, so-called. You are never going to say that I did it. But some people do. I did it.
Any other questions?
Anybody? No?
I have another question, sir.
Okay.
There was the transition was it Symantec?
Yes, Ceramatech.
So, Symantec, yeah. So you were working with that company and it was not going well. And so you bought the company and then you turned it around. How did you turn around that company?
That's exactly what I was talking about. Is that this is the practice. This is the practice that I did. A practice of silence, Again, now second opportunity I got to be owner of Ceramatech. Very interesting opportunity. And I was nervous now because prior colossal failure, and now in United States I got this opportunity to run the company. So we decided, remember that my slide, motivation and inspiration, that really I believed. Because people were nervous. I mean, what is this? The company was owned by multi-billion-dollar companies, and now this little Indian owns it. And we are going to work for him? That's pretty bad. And so, so naturally, I had to develop something. I was nervous, used to do a lot of silence and follow this. So this is not, I'm still learning, as I said. It was very hard to practice this. Honest with you, this is hard. But it all is about your mind. There is no question about it. You have to change your mind. I even went to meditation class called Vipassana, which is a 10 days meditation without any word you can say. Zero. 10 days of silence. Because that way you know how to reduce the five sensory noise. This five sensory noise is all the time with you. Sit down and do 1 minute silence. Thousands of thoughts are going to bother you. It's not easy. Just sit down for a minute and then realize how many thoughts are coming. So it takes decades of practice to become silent, real silent, where you can have a sixth sense coming in. Fortunately, those what Malcolm said, that these great leaders, they can access that sixth sense to take the decision. For whatever reason, they are given that skill. I have to learn. Thank you. Thank you.